Hey guys, welcome to another video, and now you can see how my game room looks right now. It's been pretty messed up for the last 2 weeks, and I'm still fixing it back up to the way it used to be. As you guys could probably notice from my game room tour, there's been a lot of changes in here. No more Vectrex, obviously. The Virtual Boy's gone. It's been gone for a while. Both of them have been gone for a while. And I'm just fixing the place up. I'm going to actually put a game room chair in here. So I can have a nice chair while I'm gaming over here on the TVs and everything. But let's have a discussion. So here's a funny story. So I lost a book. I want to say it was around. The book had been lost for a while, and I didn't know where it was at. And it was a manga book, and I looked for it forever, and I found it in the game room. And by that time, I bought another book because I thought it was lost, and the book was the Cat Returns manga, which is actually even better than the Disney film that came out years ago. Highly recommend people read the book. But anyways, I have two of these books because I thought one was lost, and it wasn't. It was just in here under something. And I was like, dude, what the heck? So I decided to kind of just like rearrange things in here so stuff wouldn't get lost in here. Obviously, you guys can see I'm in the middle of that right now. It's funny about having a room that's dedicated to games pretty much, as you pretty much buy items or whatnot, and you're bringing them to your home. You're constantly changing things around because ever since I moved here, I said I just wanted to keep all my games in here, and I've been able to fit everything in here, but at the same time, sometimes you get big box stuff or just stuff stops fitting, and you have to find other ways to put stuff up and everything. Right now, at this point, I would say I would have to put shelves in here to kind of like make everything fit properly in a way where it looks presentable. I can still make it work probably without shelves and all that stuff, but stuff like this, when it comes to like I don't say big box stuff like this, you want to just it's tough, because and a lot of times you don't want to dig through that box to kind of get to your game. You want the game to be ready, available, where you can just pull it off a shelf instead of going through a big box and everything like that. So I've really calmed down, at least I think I have, calmed down on getting that big box special edition, limited edition stuff, because like I said, there's just no room. I like stuff that's kind of like this size, I would say, when it comes to like collector's editions and limited editions, like something that size is cool. This comes with a soundtrack, the game, a manual, and all that good stuff. And you guys know how I feel about that and everything. But this passion for gaming, I felt like at a time that, it kind of waned a bit. And I'll go into that. When I made the video about it burnt out on RPGs. The reason why I was burnt out on RPGs was because I wasn't playing good ones at the time. The thing is, now that I'm older and everything, I want the game to kind of grab me immediately. I don't want things to be like slow burn or whatever like that. If it's slow burn, it's just like, man, I try to play through it, and it's just like it just takes a lot of energy out of you. So with all my games I get nowadays, I make sure it's something that will pull me in or make me want to play it immediately, because these days when it comes to new games, if the game doesn't pull you in right away, usually it's just going to drag probably for most of us. And some people might not feel that way. I don't take a chance anymore. There's too many games coming out, and like I said, the game's got to pull me in right away. You got to have my interest, because if you don't pull my interest, then I could play something else that will, pretty much. So like I've been in this hobby for damn near ever since I was 15 years old, and it's been a lot of fun over the years. I find most of my passion playing, I would say, what you guys would call retro now, PS1, PS2 type stuff, GameCube, Xbox, regular Xbox, and everything. That's retro now. Can you believe that? The regular Xbox almost 20 years old, so yeah, I consider that retro. And people kind of like wonder like what defines retro pretty much. I would say just like a leap in the graphics and everything. Like there was a big leap between the 6th generation and the 7th generation, at least in my opinion, and in the 5th and 6th. So But nowadays we're not. I don't feel like we're seeing that leap right now when it comes to the ninth generation, eighth. I mean, we haven't really seen what they're doing with the ninth generation yet. You know, we've seen the Xbox Series X and all that, and then the PlayStation 5, but they haven't really shown us much at all. I don't think we've seen anything at all. I don't think there's going to be a real big leap with it. So, but anyways, going back to what my passion in games are usually, you know, those generations fifth and sixth are really the ones that really I felt like a lot of developers could kind of create what they wanted to without having to get sweated by the publishers or whatnot, because it's pretty much like this. When it comes to new games being made these days, even if the company doesn't even if they break even or whatever like that, they still might get shut down. Their studio still might get shut down by a big publisher that they're under. Back in the day, it wasn't really like that. If a game didn't sell as well as it should have, the team could kind of maybe stay together, you know, and try to work on something else that would sell. Now you can't take that risk, because if your game's not a success, or what they would call a success, you'll get torn apart. You know, it sucks. You know, here's an example of that. I can't remember the company's name, but the people who did Dead Space 3 and did all the Dead Space games, it starts with a V. I can't remember what they were called, but EA helped them publish their game, and you know, Dead Space series was great. You know, 1, 2, and 3. People try to hate on 3, and that was EA's fault for messing that game up, trying to do the microtransactions. But 3 was a good game, good co-op game. I love it. I like it a lot. But when it didn't sell well, they said, you know what? That's it. This is not a lucrative series anymore. So we're cutting all ties. We're burying it. And we're like, what the hell, dude? Like, just because you guys messed up on the decision making with the game, that's why it didn't sell as well, because you were trying to rob people of money and everything. So. But even so, they ended up shelving it, you know. And like I said, you didn't really see that kind of stuff when it came to like the generations that, like fifth and sixth generation for video games. So you saw a lot of creative ideas come out for those systems. I mean, PlayStation 1 really brought me back into gaming, and it's dear to my heart. It's my favorite system of all time. I mean, there's just no getting around it, and you know, it's just I had a lot of good memories with that system. But as time has gone on, even Sony's messed up. You know, they got cocky with the PlayStation, and it happened after the PS2 when they tried to bring the PS3 out. You know, they thought they could like make a boomerang controller. They thought they could wait because they didn't think Microsoft was competition, so they could wait 6 months or a year. I think it was a year or 6 months. I can't remember. After Microsoft released their Xbox, and I was like, what the heck? And they found out the hard way that people are going to go with what's good out there and what's out, you know, what's current, what looks good and everything. So they learned their lesson, I think. Especially they came out strong with the PS4, very good system. It's been at the lead pretty much this generation. I guess the Switch kind of maybe, I don't know if it's close to it right now. It came a little bit later, but still PS4 is the go-to system when it comes to a lot of games, at least from what I've seen. You know, but the Switch is catching up, because my Switch collection is pretty insane now. I think I have over 50 games for that dang thing now, and I never plan on getting one probably until like a couple of years from now. You know, I wasn't even ready for it. But anyways, going back to the old school systems and everything. So a lot of people ask me like, hey Reggie, you know, like you have a lot of games, like how do you like beat them all and everything? Like, how do you find the time? And you know, mostly I've actually beaten a lot of these games already. I would say more of the current gen and maybe slightly last gen are the ones I'm still working on. You know, when it comes to PS1, PS2, GameCube stuff, Xbox One, or not Xbox One, but regular Xbox, original Xbox. You know, I went through a lot of these games already. I did it years ago, and I actually would like to revisit a lot of these games again, but I'll get to that. But you know, as you get more and more games, it becomes harder, you know, and then, you know, you got to make sure that you're playing the game that deserves your attention, because like I was saying earlier, if a game doesn't pull you in, I mean, it's not worth wasting your time on it, you know. And, you know, a lot of us, you know, we got responsibilities and everything, you know, when it comes to like a job and all that stuff, you know, like friends, family and all that stuff, you know, kids and stuff. You got to, man, you know, that makes things harder as an adult to try to put time into games. That's why I'm saying, like, make sure you're playing something that really pulls you in, because if you're not, man, you're gonna be in a world of hurt mentally. You know, it kind of sucks and everything. But you know, I find the time to play these games. I just, I am busy with other stuff going on in my life, but I do find time, to give these games attention, because obviously you don't want to be that guy that's just buying games and not really like trying them out or whatever. Like it sucks to put a game on a shelf and not even get to play it or whatnot. That's just it sucks. Because most people will do that because they're busy with something else. And that's understandable and everything. It seems like today that folks will buy games because they're marketed as being limited, so they don't want to get stuck with having to pay a high price for it later or whatever. So they'll get it now and they'll put it to the shelf. I can understand that, but it sucks that we're kind of living in that business practice where hey, hurry up and buy this game or it'll be gone, and you have to worry about scalpers. I'm like, man, that's messed up. But anyways, when it comes to today's gaming and everything, me as an adult myself, I'll find the time to put into a certain game, whatnot, if it's worth it. It has to be worth it. If you play a game that's not worth your time, you're gonna be burnt out, and it happens easier as you get older. It's like, man, why did I waste my time playing this crappy game? Here's a funny story. Tales of Zestria, I think it is, the Tales of game. I think that's Zestiria. Excuse me. I think that's how you pronounce it. That game is like probably was one of the worst Tales games, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's worse in my opinion than most of the ones I played. And I couldn't believe how that game dragged at certain points, or you couldn't find where to go, and I was so mad. And I remember making a post in the Facebook group saying, man, like, I can't believe I wasted my time with this game, man. I want my time back. I was so upset. But I didn't let it get the best of me because I had put too much time into it. I went ahead and finished it and everything. But, that's because it was a Tales game. If it had been something, any other game, I would have said done, got rid of it and everything. But, I remember how burnt out I felt from that game. I was like, man, never again. So I was just always careful of that ever since then. So another thing I want to mention, guys, if you're ever feeling like you're like burnt out on games, just take a step back and just kind of like, hey, just think about these things. Am I playing games that interest me? Do I have the time to play them with other stuff going on in my life? If you're having trouble still, just take a break. These games are going to be here. If you don't find yourself having a lot of time to put into games, play games that are simple, like something like arcade games. Arcade games are games in short bursts. Like a lot of fun. Like, you go through, you play up for about an hour or whatnot, you beat the game and you can move on to something else. Don't put your time into something that's really like something that you have to invest time into if you don't have the time for it. RPGs are longer games, online games. Well, online games are different because you could play those in short bursts too, like matches or whatever like that. But, just be careful what you invest yourself into because, like I said, if it's not pulling you in, you probably don't want to waste your time with it. And you could find it like this way too. If you take an hour out of a day maybe and play certain games, you could play. Next thing you know, like you're making progress in them or whatnot. So say that you don't have a lot of time. If you take an hour and you put it into an RPG game that you want to play, and then you probably maybe find a way to play an hour a day or whatnot. Next thing you know, you're making progress. And you're still having time to do other things that you got going on in your life. So. Just play the games like periodically, and don't try to play it all at once and try to get like a bunch of hours in when you got other stuff going on. That's what get a lot of people burnt out. So, try to find the time. I make the time for it. I find the time as well. So, because obviously I'm not going to be buying these games just to throw them on the shelf and not play them. I'm buying these games to play because I feel like they're enjoyable and everything. But this is our hobby, and that these are the things we go through with it. So, especially as we get older and everything. But anyways, guys, I'm looking at the time, and this video is going on too damn long. I thought it was going to be like a 5-minute video, and I just started yammering on. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm hoping to do a game room tour again. It's almost been 3 years, so I guess I could do another one. I don't feel there's a reason to, but if I do it, I'll make sure I make it fun for you guys. I don't want it to be boring or nothing like that. So. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Radical Reggie. I almost said my name wrong. Radical Reggie, and I'll see you later.